how much discomfort are you willing to deal with so that you can enforce that boundary? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Me First podcast. Today is season 2, episode 12. My name is Marge. This is my friend, cousin, and co-founder of Awendra, creators of Men in Motion, Ria, and today we are talking about boundaries that feel natural. But before we talk about that, let me check in with you. I love that top. I feel like it's trending.
Oh, thank you.
Gwen Stefani has shows in Las Vegas in May, I believe. And if I were to wear a top going to a Gwen Stefani concert, it would be that
one.
Yes. With a cute little pleated skirt and some boots.
Oh, I could already see you.
Right?
Yeah,
I saw you. I think when you were in Italy, you had these white boots. So imagine this, a plaid maybe like a plaid pleated short skirt and your white boots. You would totally look so cute in it.
Good idea. Thank you.
Yes. How have you been?
Well, now that I think I'm, how do you say this? Because we already discussed a little bit of the topic before going live. So I think I'm a little bit worked up right now about this.
You're worked up about boundaries? Well, let's put it this way. When was the last time you had set a boundary?
I did. The last time it was like maybe less than a month ago I did, but I don't think it was clear. So I'm not sure if they received it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that question was a trap because number one, the first question is, when was the last time you set a boundary? My second question, when was the last time you enforced it?
Oh,
Yes. Boundary setting is 2 pieces. Number one, you set it. Number 2, you enforce it. Because if you do not enforce it and you do not advocate for your boundaries, guess what happens? Your boundaries mean nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Done.
Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, a lot of us reach midlife and we realize that we never really had boundaries. We never had boundaries.
Yeah.
The sad part about this is because of the hormonal shifts that we are experiencing, we are also realizing that we no longer have the same tolerance as we used to. I'm gonna go out of my way to guess that the one boundary that you set last month that you're talking about, you don't have to tell me what it is probably something that you had let happen all your life, and now you're like, I think I'm gonna put my foot down on this. 100%. Because that's true for all of us. Because
that's what it is.
You know what it is forever ago, all of these things, even though it was draining for us, it was manageable for us. Right? You're just sitting there thinking, you know what, I can totally do it. But now it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. And that's really kind of like the truth of it. It feels like, I was telling you this earlier. For me, like my husband says, everybody is not afraid to mess up because they know you're gonna rescue them. Because the expectations were there. It's quite unfortunate, and that's true for a lot of us women. We kind of set ourselves up.
Yeah. It's true. It's
for
true.
That.
Yeah, sad truth.
Yeah. And so it's kind of clashing probably for us right now because our tolerance is lower. We're kind of exhausted and the expectations are coming and you're like, no, I'm cutting this right now.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Especially with me, what happened with me was, so my son already graduated and I finally got freed up a little bit from the responsibility of being a mom. So now I just want this for myself. I just want a break,
Nothing wrong with that.
I want to think about myself. This time I really want to think about myself. And I wish that they would also respect that. but we're talking about it. I'm not sure if it's the topic that with when it comes to boundaries is with me and my brothers, and it's about taking care of my mom. So I want my brothers to also share the responsibility of taking care of my mom, not only financially but other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Time.
but since I was yes, time exactly. So since I've been the one who's supporting my mom, my parents basically when even when my father was alive, I've been taking care of them for a long time. And so now I wanna, I want, I wanna focus on myself a little bit more. I wanna share the responsibility with them because they are, they're kids too. Like I'm not the only kid, and yeah, but they don't seem to take it seriously. They're not taking it seriously. So what am I gonna do? Yeah, it's
Well,
something that I'm going through still.
it's a challenge, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that we as women, truthfully, because you talked about your brothers, we as women, truthfully, were conditioned to just be agreeable. We're conditioned to. I think being a woman associates to being inherently a caregiver or like have a
Yeah.
caregiving nature. I think that's what it is. And so at our age, when you kind of start to realize that I should probably be setting boundaries, and you're kind of starting to think that it's
It's
becomes a
too late.
challenge. Not to mention, I'm gonna tell you, it's not necessarily too late because you can. It's not. It's not. The problem is how much discomfort are you willing to deal with so that you can enforce that boundary? And I'm going to tell you
Interesting.
that's probably where your biggest challenge is going to be. So, not getting into too much detail. It's, cuz you and I are doing the same thing, right? We're both taking care of parents. So, I have a brother, you have two brothers. Putting some of the onus of taking care of them to somebody else is a boundary that you're setting. However, if they do not, you're going to step in because you feel that discomfort
Yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
not doing it, and I feel like I'm neglecting her,
It's true.
right?
Yeah. That's why it's hard.
Yeah.
What
So,
are you suggesting? Like,
gosh,
what do you think?
let's talk about the causes first, right? What is, you know, it's almost redundant now, but if you think about it, the physical changes that your body is going through right now
Oh
is
yes.
really impacting a lot of your emotional tolerance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And years, you talked about supporting your parents even when your dad was alive, accumulated over time, and it's probably caused a significant amount of fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're at a point where your brain is kind of prioritizing alignment. The problem is you've kind of set those expectations of everyone else
Yeah.
to you and you of them, and you're starting to ask yourself different questions, but then they're not kind of on the same page as
Yeah.
you, and you're realizing that it's not working for you. So
Okay.
you have this desire to set boundaries, but it's hard. And there's a lot of things that you can do to set boundaries, right? Start thinking about things before you agree to it. But then this is not something you agreed to, the situation. And I'm saying this is a good example because you and I both, this is not something that you agreed to. This is something that you kind of put on yourself.
Yeah.
Me,
Exactly.
like me deciding that I was going to take care of my mom was something I put on
Mm-hmm.
myself. I made that call. And so I effectively agreed to it, and
Mm-hmm.
put the responsibility and onus on myself. And when that task, what I mean, I don't mean to minimize it, but when that
Mm-hmm.
task was set, there was no other expectation from everybody else. I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the most, you know, one of the most difficult things that you're gonna have to break, that I'm gonna have to break myself. I was telling you about my kids. So,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, how do you do it? Communicate it, I was telling you about this earlier when I was talking about, when I was asking about when was the last time you set boundaries and when was the last time you enforced it. I would probably keep enforcing it, but setting clear expectations. So instead of saying, this is what I would do, right? Instead of saying, you know what, I wish you would spend more time with mom. I would probably say, do you think you could spend 2 hours every Saturday from 1 to 4? Sometimes, make it a little bit clearer, right? Instead of saying, I wish you would spend more time with her, I wish you would go see her, which is effectively ambiguous. You can just say, you know what, do you think every Saturday you can spend a couple hours with her, and starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? I mean, you don't even have to do that, but basically say, every Saturday in the afternoon, go there for a couple hours. Bring her dinner. Make food. Those are going to be things that will help you because you're keeping
specific.
Yeah, you're specific, your language is clear, and you're saying it calmly, and it's what do you call them? It's like literal. You know what it is, and they don't have to figure out what to do. They have to do two things: make dinner with her, or eat dinner with her, and spend some time with her. Watch a movie or something. Figure it out. At that point, they should be able to figure it out, right? And for you, though, what I would probably say is, because I did tell you this earlier, how comfortable are you with being uncomfortable? Because it's going to be uncomfortable. So you need to learn to kind of separate your guilt from your responsibility. I'm going to share with you, this is one of the other things that I am challenged with. In our culture, older people think kids need to eat all the time. So one of the things that my mom worries about all the time is whether or not kids are eating, right? So when she left California, because I moved her here, she was afraid that my grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, are not eating right. So I had to kind of remind her, number one, they're not going to starve without you. And number two, they have parents. For some reason in her head, if she's not there, the kids are not going to eat anymore. Which is pretty crazy. Yeah. And so, I kind of have to like literally say, you need to separate yourself and put the onus on them. Because I think that's one of, and girl, protect your energy. Protect your time. And
but Arima, just excuse me for a bit. Maybe we can shed light on about this topic for people who want to understand when they're listening to this episode. How is it related to the perimenopause and menopause? How is it that before the responsibilities that are, like, for example, this responsibility that I want to share with my brothers, they used to be okay with me and it didn't bother me at all. So how come they're asking why now? Why now suddenly you don't
because because the hormonal changes that are happening to you right now impacts your tolerance. Truthfully.
Right.
The hormonal changes that is happening in your body has pretty much affected your tolerance for everything else. It's affected your cognizance, right? Our brain and the stress level that we are experiencing. We talked about this on a previous episode, right? Because our body is going through significant hormonal changes, our stress levels are significantly higher and pretty much uncontrolled. It makes our tolerance so much lower. And we are now at the point where we actually need to kind of protect that. We need to, because this is biological, if you may. And it's not just your own family, it's your work stress and all that stuff too. A lot of companies now are actually implementing ways and means so that they can support women through perimenopause and menopause because of this. Because at this age, your cognitive behaviors are changing, and it's impacting a lot of the things that you do, and it's impacting you physically. I mean, women in perimenopause and menopause feel a lot of aches and pains. We are not sleeping enough. And if we are having to deal with the mental and physical effects of everything that's going on to us, and then you pack on stress on top of all of that,
Yeah.
it's not going to look good for you or the receivers of this stress. That's pretty much what it is. So, when I go back to saying protecting your energy and protecting your time, a lot of that has to do with kind of you supporting what it is that your body needs, and setting boundaries is one of them.
Right?
Does that make sense?
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's how everyone should look at it, because that's really what's happening.
It is,
We're not
absolutely.
making it up. We're not suddenly just being selfish and suddenly not in the mood to help anymore.
Yeah, or deal,
No.
or deal.
Yeah.
And truth be told, boundaries should not have to feel confrontational. The last two episodes, we were talking about stress. We were talking about how we snap easily, like we don't recognize ourselves anymore, right? All of this is related. If you are able to kind of set boundaries and advocate for them, it has an impact on your stress level, and maybe you'll snap less. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And like I said, if you are able to communicate, your boundaries, they don't have to be confrontational. It's matter of fact. And gosh, self-respect. It's you putting yourself first.
Yes. Yes. Me first.
Yeah. Yes, you
Because
first.
no one else will.
That's right, because nobody else will. It's unfortunate, but we're getting better. There's a lot more communication that's happening around perimenopause and menopause, but all of these things are happening to us right now, right this minute, and it's hard to be a woman.
It is. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
To have to deal with everything that's going to our body, physically, and what's going on in our minds mentally, and have to deal with everything else that we've ever had to deal with, kind of puts us in a really odd stage. Actually, I don't mean to say odd. It's a difficult stage. That's why I was telling you at the previous episode, a lot of middle-aged couples divorce during this time, because a lot of women, probably going back to the exact same reason, we've kind of set the expectation prior, but we don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm going to admit, I was divorced at 44 for the exact same reason, because I let things happen and I just dealt with it because I thought, it was just going to be okay. I was agreeable, I was accommodating, and then one day I was like, you know what, I don't want, no, I'm done.
Yes, of course. Very good.
Yeah.
It shows yourself.
I did. And this is true for all the situations, not just family, not just, not just your partners, parents, children. It's true everywhere, and now is the time that you should be prioritizing yourself so that you can prepare yourself for the upcoming years of your life, really, what it is. Because there's a lot of things that's happening in your body that you really have to focus on now, so that you can prepare for what it's going to be like when you're 50, when you're 60, when you're 70. And setting boundaries is a way so that you can kind of reduce your negative factors that's going to impact the result that you are looking for.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Anyways, let's talk about your me first promise. What is your promise?
Obviously, it's going to be reinforcing the boundaries and being more clear about them. It's going to be hard, but I'm definitely going to work on that.
It is. And the next time you commit yourself, this is going to be my me first promise. Next time you commit yourself, pause before you say yes. I used to say, I used to say yes all the time, which is really, really funny. So my husband and I were having a conversation yesterday. He was off work, and he was asked to go into the office. Oh, this is actually Friday. He was asked to go into the office, and he says to me, should I go and help? And back in the day, I put myself in that position. If somebody asked me, should I go and help? I would have like, in a heartbeat, let's go. What do you need? I'm going to go. Right. But, so putting myself in his shoes yesterday, I had to think, and I'm like, if this was me, what would I do? I'm like, okay. So started kind of weighing everything. Eventually I told him, yeah, it's probably a good idea for you to help. But, I kind of put myself in his shoes before I did recommend that he probably go. Started thinking, do you have the capacity? Do you have the energy? Does it align with what I'm trying to do right now? And, eventually it did, and the decision was to go. But consider all the factors before you commit.
That's
is probably, like, can I actually do this? Even just that one question before you say yes, you ask yourself, can I actually do this? I'm going to give you an example of me kind of sort of setting a boundary. I committed myself to handling a baby shower. I had a different set of expectations than the mom to be. She wanted a completely different party than what I had in mind. And so in the middle of planning, I actually had to sit and say, okay, it sounds like you have an idea of how you want it to be and what you want it to look like. Why don't you plan on, why don't you take care of the stuff that you are very specific on, like decorations and stuff like that, and I will take care of the games and the food. So we did. And it was really a boundary that I had set in the middle after I had committed. It was me being it was kind of an example of me being a little bit more specific on the commitment that I'm making. And it that really was just what it is. And the other part is, and this is probably going to be one of my me first promises, because we are raised to take care of everything, we don't ask for help. Yeah. We need to learn to ask for help.
True. That's so true.
Yeah. So, and if anything is draining, walk away from it. Being able, I mean, it sounds rhetorical, but, or cliche, but to say that I have no energy for this is okay.
It's true. Very literal. In the most literal sense.
Yeah, I have no energy for this, and it's okay. Sometimes you have the energy, but not for this. And that's perfectly fine.
Manage your energy.
Yeah. Dispense it according, budget it.
Yeah. Yes, especially at this stage. Oh my gosh. Just the shifts in hormones is taking a lot of our energy already. And I don't sleep. So yeah, we only have a little bit. We have to budget it. Exactly. Crazy.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we are coming to a close on our episode 12. Once again, we are reminding everybody to put yourself first, especially during this time of your life. And it is not selfish. It is protecting your time and your energy for what is important in your next coming years. Be part of the Me First movement. Like and follow and share this video. Subscribe and follow us on all of our socials. And of course, subscribe to the Me First podcast here on YouTube, where we put ourselves first without guilt. Because if we don't, well, everybody have a wonderful week. We will see you next time. Goodbye.